Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, All Things Taeler, with yours truly, just in time for another Wicked Q&A Wednesday coming your way. Before we get right down to it with questions from all of my platforms, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button, thumbs up to help us continue growing this channel. A huge hello to all of the brand new subscribers. You guys are in for just a super awesome ride. Our fan base is the best, and we talk about so many different things on this channel. And do not forget to put your questions and comments below for your chance to be featured on next week's Q&A Wednesday. Yay! Without further ado, let's get started. I get this question a lot from all of my platforms, so this one's not necessarily platform specific. Are you retired from wrestling? Guys, like, I'm on a poster for April 16th of 2022, so no, I am not retired. Oh, I get that question so much. It makes me giggle. Okay, this one's from YouTube. Do I have a favorite valet spot? Or any funny valet moments? And this question's again is from YouTube. Nothing like comes to mind, honestly. I think one of my strengths as a valet was some old school teaching that I got where, you know, you're supposed to add to the presentation. You're supposed to add to the match, not take focus away from the match. And I always felt like I was very good at that. I always wanted to add to whomever I was valeting, add to that person's match out of respect and so forth. And I was always engaged with the match, and always in character. So that to me, I thought I was pretty darn good at. This wrestler on the East Coast when I was very young in the business, I believe his name was Alex Arian. And he told me whether you're a valet or you're even another wrestler in a tag team match and you're standing on the apron, you were always a part of the match. You were always an integral moving part. So act accordingly. And, you know, you should be reacting and acting to things simultaneously that are going on. You shouldn't just be sitting there, you know, waiting for your own spots. You should be engaging with the match and so forth. You know, don't just be waiting for pre-planned choreographed BS that you discussed in the back. Like, you're not performing for yourself, you're performing for the crowd that paid their hard-earned money. And that was the first time anybody had ever said that, and that was very thought-provoking. And then I got a lot more training on that specifically at OVW. So that's what I think about being a valet. Like, you need to make sense, you need to look the part, you need to act the part. Even if you're a wrestler, like, in that moment, you are a valet. So you kind of have to bring your wrestler tendencies, but also you're a valet. So like, like The Rock says, know your role, shut your mouth. But I always felt like that was something I was good at. As a valet, I took spots with the Young Bucks. Those were always super easy. One of the first ever spots I did as a valet when I was super green, I hadn't even had my first match yet. I was wearing these like huge platform gothic boots with soles that were like that thick. And I remember jumping up onto the apron. I was like so impressed with myself, right? You know, baby Taeler Hendrix before she was Taeler Hendrix. And I kicked over the top rope and hit the other guy in the face. We were heels. We were like these gothic heels, which is hilarious because, you know, fast forward like 8 years and, you know, I'm essentially, you know, a better version of that character. So it was really funny how time goes by like that. I've done like top rope Frankensteiners as a valet and stuff like that. So it was always very interesting, you know, the stuff that I can come up with on the fly as a valet. Another question from YouTube. Do I plan on doing any voiceovers for my books? I already did one. I don't know if you guys missed it. I think I posted it last year, but I actually did a voiceover for It's Not Easy Being a Sloth by Taeler Hendrix. It's on this YouTube channel, so you guys can actually scroll back through my videos and actually see that. I did the voices for the different characters. It was so much fun. Okay. Another question from YouTube. What has been my favorite WWE staging? Honestly, the only one that I can like truly honest to goodness remember, and I know it was a really, really big pain in the butt for WWE, but it was so awesome. I would love to see that come back. Is that big like fist shooting through. That was so darn cool. I feel like they needed like a truck just for that giant fist like punching through that. You guys know which one I'm talking about. It's like iconic. I would love to see that one come back. Okay, another question from my YouTube channel. Who designed and made my wrestling gear? Well, this depends on which gear you're talking about, but I do feel like if you've been a fan of in the Taeler Army for a while, you know, like, no matter what I'm wearing, you can always kind of point out, like, when you see somebody else trying to wear it, you're always like, that's a Taeler Hendrix look. I feel like I made my own little, I don't know. I like to think I made my own little subgenre, and I guess it's because I'll answer a different question from here first. Someone on Instagram asked me, what is something I am not good at that people think that wouldn't think that? Is they're basically they're kind of the wording for their question was a little weird, but that was the gist of it. What is something I am not good at that people would not expect me to not be good at? The answer is fashion. I was such a tomboy growing up. I didn't have brand new, super cute clothes growing up. I was very, very bullied, and I was very bullied in the wrestling business as well. And I feel like maybe I would have been in less bullying situations had I had a better grasp on fashion and how to make myself look good and what looks good on me and my body type and so forth, and just have that confidence that I think is really essential. And by the way, like, I lost so many of my nails today. A huge storm came in and I was trying to get things ready and my nails were just like popping off everywhere, which is again another example of fashion. So for me, knowing that I created this wrestling persona that had such a unique look, I was so proud of that because that was very hard for me. And when I kind of figured that out, it was very, like, I wanted to gravitate towards it. Like, nobody else was really doing that. Not a lot of girls were wearing one pieces at that time, which is crazy because now, like, so many people, even girls that don't need to wear one pieces, are wearing them. It's like, girl, your body is so amazing. Like, what are you doing? But I digress. So for like my valet outfits, my gear, I designed all of that. I put that stuff together. And then I had several amazing gear makers make my gear. I think my absolute favorite sets of gear came from Angie Sky, who is a wrestler in Canada. Hey girl, I tell so many different people to go to her. I think she's Pokemon Sky, SKYE, on Instagram, and Sky Custom Designs is her as well. That's all her. She is so creative. She is so talented, so amazing. She's very intuitive and she just does such great work. Towards the latter part of my Ring of Honor days, I was wearing gear from her. Prior to that, my debut gear in the red and the green, that was from another amazing designer who used to work for WWE and she now works with AEW. Her name is Sandra Gray. I think she's Esco Vintage. I don't know if she's exclusive to AEW now, but she made me that design and it was very, very funny because she ended up making that design like last year for somebody else and I was like, that looks a little familiar. But it is what it is. It happens. But yeah, those are some of my favorite designs, and the whole iconic gear look actually came out of me being bullied, believe it or not, and like it just kind of hit me, and that was when I kind of recreated and reinvented Taeler Hendrix, and I feel like I'm gonna be dropping some hints here that I may be doing that again come April for Lucha Patron in Northern California. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. And if you're a wrestler watching this, you cannot go wrong with those gear makers. Seriously, you cannot go wrong. They're absolutely amazing. So amazing and so creative. Like they'll take your ideas and like 10x them. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like how did I not find you sooner? Okay. This one's from YouTube. Have I ever met a cast member from Supernatural? And if not, who would I want to meet? I have not met any of them as of yet. And if I had to choose one, I would probably say Jensen Ackles, because I really identified with his Dean character. I'm the oldest sibling, and you know, the way I was raised was different from, you know, the youngers. And I felt like I always had a lot of sense of responsibility. I didn't have much choice in a lot of different things. And, you know, going against the grain was really, really hard, you know, being the black sheep that goes after pro wrestling and being an author and things like that. You know, that's not something that, you know, everybody comes out and says that they're going to do and then they go out and do it. and just having this like sense of responsibility and stuff. So and always having to like take life seriously and whatnot. So I always really identified with the Dean character more than anything on Supernatural, and growing up in a bona fide haunted house, you know. So I was meant to be in that show. So yeah, I would totally say Jensen Ackles, because I'm pretty much, you know, the Dean character in my own way. So another person asked me, this one is from Twitter. They asked me, okay, their wording's a little, they asked me, am I friends with any celebrities? I am friends with a few. And the ones that I am friends with, they're absolutely amazing. Like, you know, having people that are arguably, you know, a lot more successful than you, rooting for you to succeed and being in your corner and believing in you, that is, there's no substitute feeling, honestly. And it's just so amazing. So if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would have had the Taeler army as this crazy, huge, and amazing fan base, and then have, you know, celebrity friends, you know, rooting for me and stuff, I would have told you were flat out insane. Like, no, you're crazy. But yet here we are today, you know? So to me, that's just amazing. It makes me extremely humbled and grateful. And I feel really blessed. I feel like I'm in a way better place today than I was 5 years ago. And that took a lot of work and authenticity, but it's something I will never take for granted. I love it so much, and I'm so extremely grateful. If I could put it into words for you guys, I really honestly could. So to answer their question, yes, I am friends with several celebrities in several different industries, and I think that they are absolutely top-notch amazing. You know, I've had some of them on my podcast. I've had, you know, them just pulling for me when I publish a book, and, you know, so a couple of them found out I was going, you know, having my first match back since COVID, and like all this stuff. It's just amazing. Okay, last question. Someone asked me on Twitter, is there any sort of merchandise options that they can look at to potentially buy? The answer is yes. And thank you so much for asking. Heck yeah. I have shirts available on prowrestlingtees.com /Taeler Hendrix. I think I have at least 5 different shirts on there, and nobody ever talks about this, but a few years ago, one of my shirts like legit made it to the top sellers list, and I was like super stoked about that. Shout out to Rodney Hunter. He is the one that made that shirt and several other of my shirts, and he's absolutely an amazing designer. Let me see here. You also can find me on Cameo. Tomorrow is a brand new holiday sale that will be going now through the end of the month. $10 gets you a Cameo from me, and you'll also help me donate to charity. Either and or both, for Toys for Tots or and/or St. Jude's Hospital, which are 2 charities that I just am super proud of, and I want to help out in any way I can. And I usually do every single year. We've already talked about, I think, that last week, and also on my podcast. I won't go into that too much. But yeah, those are 2 ways that you can get merchandise from me, as well as my books. All 3 of my children's books, soon to be 4, are on Amazon. So you can find It's Not Easy Being a Sloth by Taeler Hendrix, A Fish with a Wish is Trish by Taeler Hendrix, and Nosy Rosie and the Secret Surprise by Taeler Hendrix. By the way, It's Not Easy Being a Sloth, I think, made it to number 810 out of over 30,000 children's books available on Kindle. Guys, can we like even talk about for a second how amazing that feels? Like, I am a brand new author, you know, and in a world full of so many crazy, talented, amazing, established authors, and I made it to number 810, guys. I was like, what? Yeah, so I'm so excited. Like, what a dream come true. Next stop, bestsellers list. All right, guys, that is it today for the latest episode of Wicked QnA Wednesday. Be sure to comment below with your comments, as well as your questions to potentially be featured on next week's episode. If you want merchandise, there's prowrestlingtees.com /Taeler Hendrix. My Cameos, cameo.com /Taeler Hendrix, and then also the books I mentioned. Today we talked about whether or not I'm retired, being a valet, voiceover for books, the WWE, my gear for wrestling, the show Supernatural, and celebrity celebrities. So make sure you guys really think outside the box for some new awesome and really cool questions, and I look forward to interacting with you guys again next week. Don't forget to head on to Twitter with @Taeler_Hendrix and let me know if you are excited to see Spider-Man No Way Home. I have some brand new clips coming up for you guys from my podcast where we'll discuss Entertainment Weekly's top 10 shows of the year and their 3 worst choices for shows of the year for 2021. We're going to have updates on Spider-Man No Way Home, The Matrix, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, Conor McGregor, and so much more coming your way. So thank you guys so much and stay tuned. Talk soon.